Well, great evening. Here we are. Oh my goodness. I did find the little cap, so I was able to put my light back together again. It's a little bitty ring, you know. So anyway, that's done. Now I have a question, and the question is, let me get over here and I can read it. Hi, Lady G. Could you speak to food? What part of it does it really play in our evolution of consciousness? Are we doomed if we eat meat or need to eat meat for health reasons? I feel there's so much misinformation and so much misunderstanding on this topic. Yeah. Well, no, you're not doomed if you eat meat. In fact, it used to be, if you read the really old Hindu scriptures, you couldn't be a good Hindu unless you had meat. Yeah. But that changed with Buddhism. And then, since then, now, not all Buddhists are vegetarians either. There are Buddhists that do eat meat as well. Now, meat is not going to, lower your consciousness, especially if you're going through Kundalini. There's a reason that the Kali Mandirs, Kali, which is Kundalini, still do goat sacrifices. Okay? The meat is the most grounding thing you can eat, especially red meat. Very grounding. Now, I've known a lot of vegetarians, like I used to have people that I knew when I was going through Kundalini, and they really gave me a bad time about eating meat. Now, a few years later down the road, they came to me and apologized and said, we had to start eating meat because some of the vegetarians can get very, very ill. Okay? So I know one girl that also is on a strict carnivore diet. No, nothing other than meat. And the reason she's on it is because she was having very severe epilepsy. Since she started the carnivore diet, and I mean she is strict carnivore. She does not eat a slice of bread, not one kernel of rice, not one vegetable, nothing, and it has stopped her epilepsy. Okay, so she does it for purely health reasons. So I think some people can do okay on vegetarian. Some people just cannot. I know I have to have the meat in order to stay very grounded. So again, it's not going to hinder your moving forward. Part of this planetary thing is you have to have nourishment, and the body is fuel. You need to have the right kind of fuel for your body. Okay? So, yeah, no, it's not going to hinder your consciousness. I entered realization in 1999. Since then, the mind has been still, and I eat meat. Okay? The Dalai Lama eats meat. Okay? So there's a mind bender for some of the Buddhists. He absolutely eats meat. And again, he says he has to have the meat for his health, So, a lot of people want to say, oh, I'm going to have vegetarian, and I'm going to wear white, and I'm going to be so much more elevated. No, a lot of times what they get is ungrounded, okay? And they can become ill after a time. So, I don't tell people they have to eat meat, but especially people that come and I work with them with Kundalini, they find out that, meat is very, very grounding. Now, I also had one kid that came to me. He came and stayed with me for a month, and he was raised as a vegetarian, and I told his parents straight up, he may have to eat meat. And his father was a doctor. they had him on, what was it, Ritalin, and I saw he was getting tics, from the medication. So he came and stayed with me. I backed him off that medication slowly, introduced meat, and man, he turned around so well. And then he became a doctor. Okay, he became a doctor. And when he'd come to me, he was having tics. He was, very ungrounded. And this just really moved him forward. And afterwards, actually, the parents were very grateful when they saw the change in him. So, and again, from India, his father was a doctor. Okay, but he went on to become a doctor. He wanted to become he's doing brain surgery? Something more specialized than even what his father was doing, which he did. And he wound up getting a lot of, what they pay for your education, grants and things like that. Anyway, no, if you eat meat, you're not going to hell. It's not going to stop your evolution. And in fact, sometimes you have to have the meat in order to ground. Now, fish is the lightest. Chicken next. The white meats are less grounding than a red meat is. Okay? So, But don't feel that... if you're not a vegetarian, you're not going to progress. Again, that is a total fallacy. And, not all Hindus are vegetarians. Not all Buddhists are vegetarians. So, again, they want to say that, if they go back and look in their books, the Hindus, if they go back and look, they will see absolutely that they were eating meat, and it only started to change with Buddhism, and then they made this radical shift and have made it now really toxic sounding if you have meat. So, no, fallacy. So thank you for your question, and I'll see you online.